Mr. Old-Timer Gardening fans, it's been a minute since we have been back with one another. I confess to you that gardening time is not linear. It has its ups and downs. So happens that what we're about to see here is when everything was still real busy and the results of our efforts were still in the future, not yet to be known. And it's going to be short. It's all about the bug juice I use in the garden. I'm showing you how I bushwhack the bug. For legal purposes, I'm here to tell you to read the danged instructions on your poison bottle and follow it to the letter. Ignore all you see here. If you do what I do and Grandpa gets sick, well, you was told to forget what you saw, okay? All right. Except for one teensy little bug whacking a bit later on, and it most probably will be only once using 7 liquid. What you're seeing here is the only bug juice I use in my garden. And if and only if pursued vigorously, using the instructions on the bottle, it works every time it is tried. First and foremost, I use Safer liquid that you mix up in your sprayer. That is Safer, S-A-F-E-R, liquid that you mix up in your sprayer, dedicated only to garden bug use. Common sense dictates that you don't use a garden sprayer that has said weed spray in it. That wouldn't work, duh. Well, back to my Safer, S-A-F-E-R. This by itself works very well. However, taking no chances whatsoever, then I also add a dostin of Captain Jack Dead Bug. I'm going to put links to the both of them down in the description below for you. Be notified henceforward that if you click said link to Amazon and purchase, I get a small monetary pittance that is probably so small I'd be shamed to admit whatever it was. Well, look, I'm just talking while this shorty vid is running, okay? Back to the bug juice, which is a while ago. We're now spraying, but that's okay. You remember about the bug juice. Back to the bug juice. Near as I can tell, Safer is a liquid full of live bacteria bugs that are deadly only to worm-type garden pests. In other words, we're talking caterpillars. The same goes for Captain Jack, though that formula seems to be some kind of gook made from mashed-up bacteria. So one, you got live critters, and the other one, you just got critter juice. But both do the same sort of deadly work on wormy pests. However, though I think Captain Jack's kills more kinds of bugs, as I think I already mentioned. My garden has always had a problem with cabbage worms, I think. This happens in years when I don't even grow cabbage, and folks not 3 miles away tell me they do not have this sort of bug problem. Frankly, I am no bugologist from Auburn University. I only know what I see. The cabbage worms are cabbage-type worms, aka caterpillars, aka fish bait, seem to love my tomatoes and my corn equally as well. Also my squash and pickles get those nasty borers. I don't think Safer does much for borers, but Captain Jack does, so I use a mixture. This is something I do, and if you try it, you never heard from me, okay? I feel it my duty to go to these ridiculous disclaimers in our litigious society where there's often as many lawyers trolling around the internet as farming folk. Today, I'm pretty much sticking to the tomatoes because the other products, corn, squash, and such, have not gotten to the point where they need to be sprayed. Later, I'll show you all that other stuff. Following the label instructions, in dry weather, you can go up to a week between sprays, though I visit the garden about every 3 days or so. Regardless, after a good rain, you need to reapply. The window for using this stuff begins when you first see fruit and continues until you don't. That is, if you have a problem with a garden plant eating insects. Maybe you live in Siberia and have never seen an insect. Well, I have no way of knowing that. Down south, we know all about bugs. Guarantee you that one, by golly. Well, that's another week of Mr. Old-Timer Garden Fun in the can. Coming up, a couple of things. We learned that a wet spell and or a hot spell favors the bug vermin. so happens, and you will hear me fuss on this later, as you just never know how things will turn out when you first turn a shovel full of dirt. Catch you next time. Like, subscribe, clap, and buy me a cup of fertilizer. I leave you with the ever-vicious, somewhat feral Buttercup Tea Cat.